is allocated to very programs, and that will be lunch.
Yeah. Hey, everyone. Is this on?
I didn't touch it. Is still on? Turn it on, yes. I'm ready to speak.
For being here, for listening to the version of our original presentation, and hopefully we'll all be able to very much. My name is Halldórsson, the co-founder. And I have been lucky enough that along with Julie's others, isn't here today, but they'll be coming over. So I'll be speaking about the Icelandic Snorri programs. Following me, Jody will be speaking on the North American programs. And finally, we're going to ask you to fill out a mission form. Repeat that. So the first Snorri program, 1900 to 1990, it was based on the rich history of Icelanders in North America, taking all the way up to the first European in North America. And then the legislative of the fuel problem. The main procedure history. The idea of was born in the mid-90s. Yeah, 1990, when the Icelandic National League of Iceland along 6-week cultural heritage and educational program. Originally, the program was conventions, and in 2006, the first 3 weeks were done in Reykjavik, giving lectures, cultural visits, all of it. But 2 weeks during the days, getting up for days and deepening their cultural ties. All workers spend time with their who are usually more at home. The final week is spent on an adventure tour in the site. In 2003, another program was added, which is the third plus program, which was available and it was originally introduced at the INLNA convention by Halldórsson, the acting project manager. The Snorri Plus program answers the call to those Snorris that are between the ages of 2 to 13, and it's an incredible and unique cultural heritage trip where participants join a 2-week trip split into 2 parts. In Reykjavik, doing an educational program, attending lectures, classes, going on field trips, and cultural visits, as well as meeting professional peers and being hosted at a customs cafe or they are usually setting but all too at the customs cafe. And if anyone is interested or knows anyone interested, there are new spots available on both programs. But for the Snorri program, you need to join in this weekend. Third plus will be accepting registrations for a few more weeks. So are finalizing these programs. The Snorri Alumni Internship, which was started in 2015, and it's a 12-week internship at the Icelandic Immigration Center in Boston. The internship is open to Snorri and Snorri Plus alumni, and the center hosts one Canadian intern and one US intern every year. The program was originally founded and run by the INLNA of Iceland, the Canadian Embassy in Iceland, and the US Embassy, and supported by Icelandair, who to this day donates airfares for the interns. This year, Icelandic Roots, the INL US, and the good terms of found will be, and the Icelandic Association of Líðí will be donating to support the US intern, as it's been troublesome to secure funding from the US government since COVID. And I want to take this moment to say a thank you for all of you for taking your efforts and heart into keeping the Snorri programs alive and strong. It's not lost on us. The Snorri programs are here and treasure. We are honored to be trusted to manage and host the year. So a big thank you to the founders of the programs, the Icelandic National League of Iceland, and to the Nordic Association of Iceland, all major sponsors, the city of Reykjavik, the Icelandic National League of North America, the city of Atli, who donate to the programs every year. Participants receive grants from local clubs, national organizations, and transnational organizations. On top of that, we work with the Halldórsson Institute of Icelandic Studies to host the educational program every year. And then finally, a huge thank you to the Icelandic people. Our budget from there to the Ministry of Higher Education, Science and Innovation. We are very happy to share with you that they have signed a landmark deal with us to support the program in 2 years. And they hope that everyone here, the community, will join us in securing the longevity of the Snorri programs for the years to come. I will now give the microphone over to Jody to share with you on the North American Basic Program.
I think I touched something I wasn't supposed to, Brett. Good thing you're young and able-bodied. Exactly. There you go. Great, thank you. I'm not going to go through everything as much as had originally planned, but just to give you an idea that Snorri West is a little different. Snorri West does not receive any donations other than from those of you who give up your time, effort, share your homes, share your food, your time and effort. We also receive participation fees, and that's what helps us to make this program work. I do want to recognize the Snorri Foundation, Snorri programs, in Iceland, as we work with Julie and Atli, and they help promote and do public events to help promote and so on and so forth. So without them, we would not be working. Obviously, the Icelandic National League of North America and the Icelandic National League of the United States are key supporters, both financially and every other way you can imagine. Just a quick overview. I won't say anything. You can take a look at it, but just know that the program has changed over the years since 2001 when it first began. We are currently still working on the model identified by Dale Anderson McCleary, where we have 4 different identified in North America and we try to rotate from corridor to corridor. Sometimes we have problems such as COVID, sometimes we have problems because we don't get applicants, but this is the general way in which we try to move through and try to visit as many of you as possible. Last summer, we had 3 people who intended to go to Saskatchewan in Utah. Some of you may recall the Western Strike. Yes, we got caught in the middle of that, so we were not able to go to Utah, unfortunately. But we had 3 people, Hekla and INLNA, are both from Reykjavik. Mars is from Comstock, actually. And they had a wonderful time. First stop was Calgary, where Natalie Worth and Mark Peterson and Nancy Tarr were kind of in charge of them. They moved on to Markerville, where they celebrated June 17th and had just a fabulous time learning about baseball and wildlife sanctuary. And Pam Oxtoby and Marlene Lindberg and Bernice Anderson were the hosts there. Edmonton was quite a surprise. They landed in the middle of Stanley Cup fever. And so they were introduced not only to hockey and how wild and crazy we can get when we're cheering for our teams, but Jody and Chase and her daughter Jenny Graham were wonderful hosts and guides, and a wonderful time was had to get by. Then we moved on to Saskatchewan. And the really cool thing is Jody and Edmonton had suggested, well, why don't you send them on the train overnight to near Wynyard, which we did. And I must say that that was one of the highlights of each of the evaluations we got. Was please make them go on the train every time. Icelanders love trains. One other really interesting thing that happened, you can see the top, the young woman's kneeling by the gravestone. In our research and preparation for these people coming, we discovered that Mars' 4th great-grandfather had emigrated to the Wynyard area, unbeknownst to his family. They did not know where he was. They did not know that they had relatives even in North America. But we were able to discover that. We also found out where he was buried. Cindy Goodman and Betty Ann Bjarnason were kind enough to do some research and find it, and that was one of the first stops that was made. And it was quite an emotional situation when Mars got back home and was able to tell her grandmother what had happened to her ancestor. So that was really cool. And then, as I said, poor Betty Ann ended up driving all the way from Wynyard to Calgary to try to catch the flight from Calgary to Utah. But unbeknownst to us, WestJet had also canceled our flight from Calgary to, even though it's a different airline. But what can I say? So, yeoman's duties, thank you so much to you and your sister. We also had a wonderful Snorri West alumni intern shaped after the interns that Atli was talking about that go to Hofstos. We kind of focused last year on the 125th anniversary of the August the Deuce celebration. And Atli visited Toronto with Gwen Morgan and also stayed in Winnipeg with Katrin Nielsdotter at the Icelandic collection, and then spent a little over a week in Mountain helping them organize. And they were so thrilled to have him. Apparently, he had done quite a bit of help and was recognized at their heritage program for his assistance. And then he came up with Atli and Paula to enjoy the Icelandic garden. And how many of you know this, the tradition of the big picture? It's my understanding, and I've heard it from more than just Sigfús, that when you go to visit the mountain area and you go visit the Cowan grave, you're supposed to toast with brandy. And so Sigfús in the middle toasted with 2 of his newfound friends from Mountain, and I think they all enjoyed the situation. Sadly, Snorri West is not looking so good this year. I'm sure there's a wide variety of reasons, some of which talk to our brains and are not. We had very few applicants, 2 of whom ended up withdrawing for conflicts in their schedules, so we will not be holding a Snorri West 2025 this summer. We hope to return next summer, probably in the Pacific Coast. We are thrilled, however, to introduce to you our Snorri West intern, Snorri West alumna intern, who is becoming strictly to Manitoba this year in honor of the 150th. Caritas is an amazing woman, very educated, very well traveled. You can see the books there. Those are the books that she has written and the workbooks that help adults learn Icelandic as a second language. She was a 2019 Snorri West participant in the Pacific Northwest area. So we are really super excited for her to come and spend some time at these wonderful locations here in the Gimli area. Last thank yous, a couple different ways to thank. Again, we have organizations that have helped us tremendously in any number of ways. I'd also like to recognize my co-directors. Blair Lockhart is from Vancouver, and she retired at the end of last summer. And our new co-director came on board at that time, Natalie Ward. And she is from Calgary. She's also a Snorri. Claire was also a Snorri Club. And last but not least, we need your help in any number of ways, some of which Atli has talked about. And he mentioned the quiz, no, not quiz, survey. And we'll have we'll have a QR code for that at our Snorri table so that you can help us with some thoughts and ideas. And the last thing I wanted to say is that I've been a member or involved with Snorri West since 2012 when I went on my first Snorri Plus trip. And my time is here to step back. So we are looking for another co-director who will be able to work with myself and with Natalie in the coming year so that that person can eventually become a Snorri West director. And I'll still be here. I'll be going between here and Iceland. When you have grandkids in Iceland, you gotta have an excuse to go, right? So if you're interested in helping, that would be amazing and wonderful, and we'd really appreciate it. Okay, now we lost that. Anyway, that's okay. You know where to find us, right?